For the next project, I'm going to make Murrini bunnies and scrap bunnies. And I'll be using stainless steel cookie cutters. This time of year, it's the last week of March, I bought these. They were half off. After the holiday, you can get them as much as 80 or 90% off. So first step, you need to line the interior with thin fire. A few ways you can do it. You can take the thin fire and carefully push it along, making sure that you've got the right side toward the steel, and using clothespins, these mini clothespins, you can just hold it in place. And then you need to let it sit there a little while so that it'll remember the shape of the object you're putting it into. An easier way is with a little bit of hairspray. I spritz the inside of the mold with a tiny bit of hairspray, and then that would be enough to hold the thin fire in place, with an occasional clothespin if you need it. And then you just let it dry for a little bit, and you can take off the clips and it'll maintain the shape. Now you need to make sure that it's up against the very edge so the Murrini won't, or the scrap won't stick. Once you've got everything pretty secure, you're gonna go in and put all these Murrini in place. And for this, tweezers are absolutely the easiest. I decided after I went back that the two pieces that looked like eyes kept shifting. So this is how it looks. I just put all little flowers in there instead. Made sure everything was touching. This little thin fire was touching the base. And that one is ready for the kiln. Another option for these is to use glass tack. And they all work okay. Stainless steel, the whole purpose of it is so that it does not hold on to things. It stays shiny, and so there's nothing that's really going to work super great on stainless steel. And any of these adhesives, either the hairspray or the glass tack, will burn off in the kiln, so you don't have to worry about them. And none of them are going to work super great. You just need the paper to stay in place long enough to get everything to fuse. And you make sure you put this side toward the mold. And even with this, those clothespins really help to keep it where it needs to be until it dries. A little easier if you make a continuous strip, but I use scraps for this. And you have to make sure it comes all the way down to the bottom, because you do not want your Murrini to stick to the mold. Okay, these are all ready for the kiln. I did a couple with Murrini, one with just frit powder, actually fine frit, and then one with just little chunks of glass, where I put dichro over clear in there as well, so it'll have a little bit of flash. Some of the Murrini bunnies turned out perfectly. That is perfect and ready for the next step. This one is perfect for ready for the next step. This one is as well, but I'm not as thrilled with the frit. I like the Murrini better. These three are not ready for the next step. This was frit, but it was bigger frit. And these two Murrini. I'm missing some, and I didn't notice when I put it in the kiln that there were some big gaps. This one I noticed the gaps and I filled them with little green frit balls. But these I didn't notice the gaps. I can go back, put it back in the mold, fill in the places that are missing Murrini, and run it for another tack. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do right now. I have the two pieces I need for the project. I'm trying to figure out how to back these trays. This is like a purpley color. I'm not actually sure what it is because it came in a bucket of scrap. Okay. This artichoke would make a nice border for white. And that would work really well for a couple of the bunny trays. So I'm going to do a 4-inch square of white, 1/2-inch strips of artichoke, and then I'll put a clear cap on it. So I'm going to do the artichoke green and white, but I think I also wanted a yellow and white, and I'll do the yellow and white first. So these are ready to go in. I'm going to tack fuse these in the Gen Ken. Alrighty, let's take a look. Oh dear. I did not put a sprinkle of clear powder, and this one got completely bubbly, and this one did not. How unusual is that? But the bunnies look good. Oh, especially that one. My bases are out of the kiln. This one I forgot to put clear powder between the layers, and it bubbled, but it bubbled in such a beautiful pattern. And I'm going to put this Murrini bunny, so I will tack it on there. And then the yellow and white also bubbled, much harder to see. I do have to remember to do clear powder from now on. And then I have this primarily yellow bunny to go on top. And these will make 2 little trinket dishes. Now the scrap bunnies I made are actually too thick to turn into trays, but these might just get tucked into the girls' Easter baskets, just as a little pocket charm, because I love the way they turned out, but they're just a little bit too heavy for the project I was planning. Okay, I have 2 trinket dishes ready to be fired. They're going to go in for a tack fuse. This is a bunny that I'm trying to repair, and this is a prototype for a project I'm going to do in a couple of weeks. And these are done and ready to be slumped. Very nice. Still a little bit high temperature, but I can take a peek. Oh, those are lovely. They turned out great. I have a few different trinket dish molds, but this is absolutely my favorite. Works great, never fail. This one, which I thought I was gonna love, actually gives me constant problems.